So, Palm Beach Ferry. Oh, my fucking fingernails. I'm not actually going to go there for the day, which is good. Um, to the other Central Coast, but we were going to meet early, which I didn't, or not early, but at 8:30, which is about 20 minutes away now. There's a fucking cockatoo next to me, hang on. The cockatoo? Right there. What's he doing? Cockatoo. Oh, there's another one just over there. There's two. Two cockatoos. What are you guys doing? Are you buddies, mates, lovers, married, enemies? Look at that. It's the Illuminati there, guys. I'm gonna blow my nose too. Anyway, she's actually decided to come here. Great, because it's fucking raining. I'll have a cigarette soon. So, but I know I live near Manly Wharf, but I don't use it. I don't drive into the like I don't take the ferry into the city at all. There's actually a bus stop that there's actually bus stops that actually lead to the city buses close to where I live, and it's cheaper too because you would have to pay anyway. So what I was gonna say, but I didn't because I don't think about weather conditions because it's with bad weather, it's more prone to ferries are more a lot more prone to cancellation. So a lot more prone to cancellations than because of the water and shit than buses are. And you know, I just rocked up. I looked at my phone, and she's like calling me and texting me, and like, "Hey, I want to be later now." So I gotta wait an hour and a half about to kind of don't have my fucking phone charged with me, so which is great because I'm gonna pass the time by like vlogging and all that shit. I might run down across the road to get a coffee, maybe. I don't have a brother with me or anything like that. Um, I'll psych myself up and do some videoing around locally, just to kind of so because I'm here. Maybe. See, I don't want to drive to the light. I've never been, so I don't know how long. Anyway, so it's just. I'm still kind of getting used to it. I mentioned it earlier on that I'm thinking about prolonging it for another week and stuff, like having some space in between. Um, I might have to own up just to kind of like get used to it all and just tell her like it's just a whole day event, and there goes the day for me, and I've got to think about my art career and all that sort of stuff. I know that seems horrible, but, you know, today that I'm saying it just because, because it's been a couple of weeks as well, but, um, so see what happens and all that, but we'll just have to stop and text her and all that. I kind of had to say to her, look, because the parking spot she was at, she drove to the ferry so she can go to hop on the ferry instead of driving all the way here. It's actually cheaper to to take the ferry. It's more annoying to rely on public transport, but it's just the amount of petrol to drive there and back too. It will be expensive. So, and plus the wear and tear on your car as well. Yeah. So I was gonna say. So, suggested that she should check their website just in case. So, but just in case if they end up cancelling the services for the day or for the morning or whatever, so I can at least go home and try to make use of the day. Um, so if that's the case, it's going to be fucking annoying to kind of go, fuck, I drove all the way here for fucking nothing. Not nothing, um, but it's, um, but it's just one of those things. It's been 5.5, like I said too, 5.5 years since I've actually been with anyone. Let alone anyone from the fucking Central Coast, which is something I never saw myself, they actually following through, but maybe that's a bit unfair to say to anyone there, uh, but, so, it's the whole day thing, so, if we lived closer together, like, it might be a different story. She does, like I said too, heaps of qualities that I actually do like, some that I don't, but that's, the ones that I don't, I can kind of like process it and go like, you know what, that it's because she's human rather than kind of like anything else, and I got to give some grace to that sort of thing. And it's actually things that she can actually like. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna go change anyone. They're gonna change for themselves. I'm at that stage of life, so that's okay. But there are things that she can. It's things that if you by putting in the effort, it just does so much wonder. So, and all I can do is just try to be a good influence and stuff of that nature. So, and kind of not and by leading by example rather than anything else. That makes sense. So, like, how am I going to miss the bus? But anyway, if that makes sense. So it's just what I'm trying to articulate is that even though this thing's imperfect or whatever, it's not getting to me. It's not a deal breaker. I'm not passing severe judgment. I'm not going to go get away from me. I'm not reacting poorly. Despite what I just kind of said, It's really not coming from a place of control or any of that shit. All I can say is like, hey, this thing that I can work on and she can work on and etc. 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 It's just the beginning stages. And I've said it before. I don't want to go fuck this. It's um um. I can't deal with the distance and all that sort of stuff. So I'm fucking no. Because if you're leaving, we can at least pop in, pop out. It's there and back. The travel, the commute, it wouldn't be there if we're living closer together. Um, so that I've got to take that in regards as well. Since there's been a few weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, or a few days already gone past with the stuff. If we were a bit more together, in time, I know that eventually I can go back to resting on my being creative and all that. Hypothetically, hypothetically in 6 months, we go, okay, we're gonna start perhaps living together. Um, it's gonna be annoying transitioning from Sydney to Leicester. Um, and then landing the job. I'll have to probably wait till summertime if I gonna have to do that. I'll expand on it in a second, but um, to get a job, and okay, then because you'll give me the time and space to kind of like be creative as well, let alone be a boyfriend. Um, And even now, she's a bit open to kind of going, hey, look, I think she's kind of realised that she can't take all my time up. And it's not that I don't want to talk to her, don't want to spend time with her. It's the same time I've got my own life as well, and I think she's doing it. Like, I think she's realised that I'm supposed to be having all this stuff as well. And and this happens when you're young as well. Like, it's you don't have anything going for you, and sometimes you put your stuff on the pedestal and all this other bullshit. So it's just life lessons you learn from dating, all that sort of stuff. So now it's fucking like I think I've realised what she's been doing. I'm having a look at the timetables. It might be actually fucking cancelled today. I don't see anyone here at all. Like, not even like randoms like me. I don't see that any sort of relative staff members. So there's like a giant log on the beach. I don't know what the fuck is happening here, but yeah. Is this adverse weather? Like, that's the thing. Like, it's, who knows. So I'm gonna go back to my car. I think it's gonna be cancelled today. It will, but go home and sort myself out, hopefully. So anyway, try give him another call. I'm gonna get a coffee from over there. A coffee. It's pretty gay. I'm gonna go back to Palm Beach and talk that on. So I'm still here. My fucking phone battery's just gone down just because I've been fucking flicking through shit. I just went and got another coffee, as you can see. Coffee's alright. She seemed to so there you go, that. But so we kind of just worked it all out. Again, because I don't use the ferry, so I don't automatically think about this shit. But I don't know, maybe I should get out and film a bit more. I'll get out and film a bit more soon. But the ferry and all that, since no one's really around. So, not only like the waves and shit like that, you got to really think about, but is the low tides and stuff as well. I don't think Sydney Harbour or Manly Wharf to the city is not like that. I think it's really fucked up weather and all that. It has to be really fucked up weather with the waves and shit. But there's spots around Edelong and all that have very low tide and very sands and stuff coming up, and that's what causes the problems for those people. But there's a diversion timetable between Patonga, I think that's how you pronounce the name, and Palm Beach. Everyone else is left for themselves until the weather's better. But so I'm still gonna, but she still wants to see me and spend the day with me. Which I guess it's flattering and all that, but that's what's happened. But I should change it, because I did bring a jump with me to change the shirts and stuff, but it's a bit of a shame because yesterday was fine, the weather was cool, but the fucking horn. Look. But So for a moment, I'm like, great, I can fucking. I'm just not used to spending time with like people like this anymore. That's I gotta take some accountability and the way that I look at myself properly, but so it's gonna be a learning curve. It's just a moment here, a moment there, but but who the fuck knows though? But so I don't know how much footage I'm gonna collect throughout the fucking day now because of my battery shit, but should I gotta look at the diversion timetable. But such is life. Coffee's alright. I think she kind of rushed it a bit. But such is life. Learning curve for me. But no, I'm okay. Might be fucking too busy. Listen, I look. I'm here. Yeah. Nope, you gotta... Yeah, so we can just laugh. Nope. Take it. Just take it, it's all justice. No, you're toxic. Nope, fuck you, loser. Hey, fuck your relationship. No, do you understand that? Yeah, end of first. That's his problem. Your problem, his problem. Okay, oh. Oh. Anyway, oh fuck. That was a bit about the wharf and all that. So the website does have a phone number, and they've got a voice callback system thing. So she ended up calling him, and they called back and all that. And apparently the normal ferry service is still on from a certain time. So which is a bit frustrating, but good coffee. So still somewhat of a let's go type of thing, but really fucking frustrating, though. Just to deal with, but I was for a second I'm like, fuck, right, I get to go home and work on my art stuff, but no. But what can you do? So 20 past, but she still really wants to see me, so I guess I gotta be flattered by that. You know, it's a shame that oh fuck, I was gonna say shit. It's a shame. So I got pen and paper here. So I got no bubble gum. Shit. So got a pen and paper here, so I can write ideas about recovery checks. It just helps my recovery and all that. Peterson. But know, who knows, though. Try to time my cigarette. So, and this is the thing that I don't handle when things are out of my, like, all over the place and out of my control and all that sort of stuff. So, but right. No. When it's on other people's times and shit. It's like a fucking 40 minutes to wait, you know. But anyway, so oh, that's what I was going to check too. So it's still operational. So I'm very much taking a different approach to Reddit now. I'm trying to get past the 30-day marks and stuff. At the end of the month, I got to double check to see how much. I paid for a month, see how much time I have left. But whenever I am going to be in use of it, it's going to log onto the VPNs and stuff. But I'm thinking about tonight whether to fucking get the karma for karma, wait till tomorrow. Ask Reddit's 50-50. Sometimes you don't get karma points from the questions you ask on Ask Reddit. I might have to Google like other subreddits to use. So it's very much just, it's going to annoy the fuck out of me. But I am trying to get the account, like the Reddit accounts up and running, so I don't get fucking shadow banned. It's just, I don't know what, you can't use it, you can't hop onto it. But I guess in their defense too, like it's a bit, you know, the amount of shit that people use that site for, it's probably, you know, disgusting. But thirsty. I don't have any water on me. But that's the thing. But that's the thing. But also last night I edited up. I got to do something about my vlogs as well. When I edit, it just sucks. I don't know what it is, but it just sucks up a lot of shit. So I am thinking about reducing them to like about the 45-minute mark. Instead of like the 2-hour sort of stuff, but so I edited one last night. It's like 2 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. But you know, I did it purposely just because I was like going to spend the day with Nikki, so it was kind of like you know, even though it's not off to a good start, but the day isn't off to a good start. Hang on, sussing something out. Oh, that's got to be a statue. Okay, I'm across the road from Barrenjoey House, and I'm seeing part of it. And I don't know if there was a woman just standing there or a statue, but she was a statue. Somebody just walked past her and she hasn't not moved at all. But um, so it's just because I can't do shit after the vlogs and stuff, but that's the thing. Half an hour to wait, but 30 minutes. Oh. That's the thing, I spend a lot of the time on my own, like even though it's productive and useful and all that. Even like the last few months, I've been just struggling with the film stuff and all that. I haven't had an issue with Facebook in a while. I'm kind of adjusting to that. While I've got the VPN, I should try to make a new Reddit account just to help. I don't know how their tracking is like, but the thing is, I spend a lot of the time alone. I do, it's not like a burdening feeling that I have to connect with others. I do have, I wouldn't say, I don't know if it's issues or not, but kind of like, I need a good amount of personal control of what's happening. Around me, so it's kind of like I need that sort of sense of like I've got control. I've looked at when I'm learning about this sort of stuff. It's not common, like, but it's there at the same time of like how time consuming spending time with friends are. But it's also that notion of like unspoken complaint that you don't get anything else done. It's just you got to drive around or whatever to spend time in the actual time with your friends and organising and stuff. But I understand why people would. I've always said for years like I'd be okay with just one or two people that I'm actually friends with in being in a dating thing. So it's that's my girlfriend too. But it's just like I said too. It's like, so I remember when I was in a relationship prior, early on. It's kind of like I'm kind of glad that I got in thought and I didn't cause as much damage as a previous as I would have had. Or I'll talk about that in a sec. But But I've always been telling myself, like, I really would want that sort of thing. It's not really would want that, but that sort of, like, just being alone, it's just all the time. It can get you and all that sort of stuff. So I got to be a bit more thankful for that, that there's somebody's actually interested in. I know people mean well and don't have any sort of feelings of malice and stuff or ill intent, but like a lot of the times people don't cross over the face value stuff and would want to spend time and communicate. I can't even remember the last time somebody just said hello to me, randomly. They sent me a text or a message or just called me. It's just, it has happened in the past, but it's just, once every few full moons and stuff. But, I don't have a lot of regrets in my recovery. It could have been better. But I think that's quite common and normal. And even if it was actually better, it's I could have, I still would potentially have that same sort of notion of wishful thinking that it could have been better. Early on in recovery, I did a lot of things that I used to do as well in active addiction. Don't know, being all over the fucking place. And with maturity, like, I like watching films as well, like cinema and all that. I'm more prone to actually watching cinema with substance and stuff most of the time. I still don't think mainstream movies get a bad rap as, say, pop music would, but um, but I overuse that sort of bearing of like just sitting around and stuff. Um, that's her again texting me. But what else can I say and do? But I'd never had it. I never made use of my time. I don't. I could have learned how to balance that sort of stuff out a lot more quicker. Where I'm actually when I'm productive and trying to do stuff to make use of that. Then kind of okay, I've done that for the day. I'm gonna set myself up to sit and watch. Just before Nikki came around and all that, I was talking about spending that time and leisure, which I was actually struggling with getting back into. But it was a massive learning curve. I'm lucky I kind of had that sort of balance, like that sort of intent to kind of like I would have learned how to do this sort of stuff. And the fact that what can I say? The fact that I really had no friends. I went through a period where I was just doing meetings all the fucking time, like AA meetings, and I liked doing them. It wasn't a complete waste of time, and I probably in some ways needed to do it, like to spend time in that environment. But it's I used it as compensation as well to kind of like I don't talk to anyone. No one's reaching out to me. I don't interact with people on a more of a leisure factor. And I played it on. And there was some places that I did kind of make use of that. I guess I've documented myself a lot. With my literature, my vlogs, a bunch of that sort of stuff. And who knows, if I kind of kept it up, it could be one of those prolonged stories of like fucking like this massive track record of like putting stuff out there about myself and all that could be out there, it's again like I'm not broken about it, but the fact that it's prolonged with this Reddit stuff as well, it has gotten to me because at least I can kind of like what. I might have not broken anything, but at least I'm getting shit out of it in return. But it's not the fact that I had to dealing with the problem with the distribution part, but it's that sort of stuff, and I got to, like I said, causing damage. Like I have not fucking caused damage in years, I'm trying to like make use of it, trying to breathe and all that sort of stuff. It's just sooner or later, me and Nikki would have to talk about whether to continue dating or kind of like, okay, how are we going to move in together and work and all that sort of stuff. But which is something we'll have to fucking talk about, but at some point. But because when I was in years and the hangovers, I can remember when I was like 23 when the fucking like which is really fucking young. When I would go for like a night out and those hangovers would just be fucking monstrous. I would have to spend at least one full day in bed. The day after, I'll be affected. The weight gain. I'll be gaining weight at the same fucking time. The level of little self-respect that I had, was just a monster to fucking deal with and all that, Like, it might not amount to anything, but, it's the art stuff, but still, like, at least I'm kind of documenting some. Hasn't happened to me since 2021. And I think back then I wasn't making any films and stuff. I just kind of like, there's no point to it. But I think I am lucky now that I've kind of kept it up. Like, no, I still make movies and projects and stuff of that nature. Um, um, cause I think my thinking at the time, well, there's no point to it. Like, I don't know when this will be snap out where I can actually have a Reddit account. But actually, I might actually wait till not Monday, but tomorrow. I might put a question to ask Reddit, and then do some karma for karma points maybe. Then wait till, but that's the thing, you know. It's text them, but. So I'm kind of happy in that regards and stuff. I'm surprised the actors are not bothering me about it, kind of going, oh yeah, hang on. Upload phone. Schedule notes. But what can I fucking do, Larry? It's just. But I'm letting the main reason I'm using the VPN as well to help give space between my IP address and Reddit, I guess. I think they're just doing a part of it's Reddit. So anyone who knows Reddit knows it's a fucking like who's more toxic or how unhealthy, the people who use the site or the actual people who run the site. But it's you know, it's bullshit. And it's in their defense, unlike fucking Facebook, they do have like a contact thing, so it's just you know, it is what it is type thing in the moment. I just gotta wait it out and endure it. But you know, hopefully this is the final stretch of problems that I'll be having with it for at least for a while. So I can get back on building up my YouTube channel and all that sort of stuff. I've got a couple more ideas of films as well. I've sent one to Peter, which I don't know the time in the vlogs. I'm going to initially put out the vlogs first as use of it, and then the film's a bit side of it. But then I've worked with an actor yesterday about a short film, so it's 10 days that Reddit account's been up for, so I guess that's kind of good, you know. I'm not going to post much links to it. I got to fucking just wait it, like I said, just wait it out. And so tomorrow, not tomorrow, but I'm thinking about tomorrow, Monday, to kind of like post a couple of things. One on Ask Reddit, like just ask a question. Tonight I might actually do something different. Be a bit more mindful. No, not mindful. But use VPNs for the different VPNs for the other two accounts that are created. No, but that's the thing. I can't see the fucking shit from here, so it's 10:02, so I'm gonna just change my jumpers and wait at the ferry. So the wind's not that bad, so who knows? What are we doing? Just fucking around there, man. Not see the ferry at all. Where is it? Maybe what the water's up for risen. Alright. It's coming around for me to have a cigarette. That's it there. Right. Right. Also, what the fuck is this too? Like, assuming condition as well. .com. Is that the ferry load? But anyway, so just if anyone's curious to check that out, but I hope that is. I hope that's the ferry. I've got a cigarette in my hand, so nobody's really around. Oh shit, okay, I better get off this thing. Oh, it's pulling up. Wanker. That's gotta be it though. It'll be so annoying if it's not. Whose boat's that? Fucking time, hey? So I'll probably get more privacy here, but the noise might be a different story. So I didn't walk to work today, but that's okay. I actually felt pretty tired. But we do walk into Coles and get a lighter too. Maybe not. I know Coles. It'll probably be slightly cheaper, but so I'm not going to go see Nikki this week, but that's okay. We'll stay in touch, but because mainly because next week she's kind of throwing out like, hey, maybe she come over and stay the night and stuff of that nature. So that'll be like a day and a half at least, just been fucked around. That's okay. So, which is, I am looking forward to it. And I do like the fact that I've got that sort of thing at the moment. But yeah, I might have to change spots. But yeah, I might have to change spots. Yeah. So. But mainly because of but I was thinking maybe on the weekends, like when I'm not seeing her on Sunday, to not go to a meeting, stay at home and at least kind of like focus on my reading as well. And also with that, it's kind of like at the same time, when I'm not seeing it on a Sunday, during the evening, do what I kind of been doing and kind of use that time to kind of be reading as well. I do that sort of like relax, enjoy the art piece and stuff that I've been trying to do just prior before. It is somewhat, I forget how time consuming it is, like being in a relationship with somebody. So, but it's good to have somebody at the same time. So she seems to have like a grasp on being creative and all that. So I've always got the space, but the fuck is that? So hang on. I was also doing the step 10 work, which I've not been doing. Other things I have been kept up doing, but not sort of that time of reflection.
Let's hope we are talking about Charlotte's exact stuff. Shady Jack, Molly O'Callaghan, they're all in the pool tomorrow. And it could be great. Is going in 100 metres freestyle. Shady Jack and Molly O'Callaghan both qualify in their 100 metres freestyle, and their prospects, Zach Stubbleton, of course, he goes into the 200 metres breaststroke finalist, the fastest qualifier and the defending champion. Tomorrow could be a not so much the women's rugby 17. It was painful.
It's going to be a while since I get my coffee. A while.
but we're done. We're in. We've got this. No way can the US come back. We're just the conversion.
Exactly. That was the key point. Conversion.
Coffee is really needed in the morning all the time. You really need it. I had a free coffee just then. The guy gave me a free coffee, which is good.
It's actually quite sad to watch.
That's the thing.
Watching, because of course the entire team collapsed to their knees, some of them in tears. The coach just watched us like it's something awful, and he had, because they effectively threw away a bronze medal at the death there. Real shame for them, but
I'm actually thinking about filming something weird tonight rather than anything else, vlogging or trying to get up to scratch with it all. Don't know. So this is a free coffee. The guy gave me a free coffee because he's a good dude. But I kind of just had that sort of string of like just not being settled, and I was just walking around a bit. So as I was trying to say before, because of it's not it comes with dating and stuff. It's no one's fault, so it's not particularly exclusive and all that. Whether it's better or worse can it's a different story. But it's trying to learn the best ways, and I've got to sit down and kind of think things over again, which I didn't do on Sunday. Some areas, trying to get my act, like improve my act or kind of do that stuff. Some areas I have kind of improved a bit. A bit more constant with my awareness as well. But it's going to be a decent day today. But I was just thinking, I haven't seen Danielle in ages, but I thought I would see her somewhat regular. I was kind of half hoping, but yeah. So I was thinking tonight, after work, look at my ideas of like filming weird stuff and hopefully putting it out there. I'm also with the Reddit stuff. Still having the issues. The accounts that I've got still quite new. So anyone who knows Reddit will know what I'm talking about. But I'm learning the VPN a bit better. I am consciously trying to use a different IP address from it. Because when you got the VPN, you can kind of have different options and shit. But so I'm trying to be a bit more conscious of which ones that I'm actually using, and make sure every time I go to log on to Reddit, I try to use a different IP address from it, and that's with different accounts. So a couple of them are gaining somewhat for its how long it's been on Reddit for, a good healthy karma points. So hopefully I got 4 of them running. So hopefully, at least a couple of them will come through for me. But that's something I've got to work on, of course. But it's really frustrating because since March, it's just like I've said it heaps of times already. It's just I'm getting fucking nowhere with this shit. I've always been a bit like this with life. Like a bad moment or a bad day, I can kind of handle and move on from it. But when it's a prolonged thing, that's when it just gets to me a bit. But oh, and that's also I can do. I can post another ad for like a film or something. So at least I'm kind of still trying to make the attempt. Because the last time this has happened, like it just went from fucking like it just went on for forever. I wasn't doing anything besides vlogging. And when I actually got the Reddit accounts back running then, that's something I did ended up regretting doing and all that. Is not making that effort to kind of make movies and stuff. So it's kind of like, oh, I've got no projects to promote. New ones that is. It's also true, like I've done stuff with other actors, like with my vlogs I can kind of let go and go fuck it, at least it's kind of just me, but when I'm making projects with other people, like I've got to get shown some sort of decency and like make that effort. So also I've done a couple short films which I don't mind doing, but I've still kind of like have that sort of urge like to make prolonged projects and stuff. Which is one reason why the vlogs have always been like an hour to like 2 or something. So, but last night I did try to write, and I've started going to like, I got in the mood, which is good, to swing back into that, try to make the effort to be detailed in my writing as well. I have started, because I was just talking about Nikki and dating again. Try to do a bit more writing, have clearer language and stuff to what I'm thinking and doing. So it's in Junkies Volume 9 and all that. But I spent a good 2 or 3 weeks like with my smoking, improved a lot, but fucking hell. But the morning times I'm still kind of letting myself go a bit, but all I'm trying to focus on is not maybe following through my ideal wants, but going like me trying to practicing good ideas, healthy ideas and stuff, and putting that into practice and all that. But at least I have improved in time, sort of thing. And so I was actually thinking about what was it? Yeah, because of the writings of beginning to date again and try to like write into my fictionalized novel, I was actually thinking about like how I was carrying myself in recovery before my my rock bottom, and like in some areas it was like I was doing really well in some areas I was completely naive, oblivious, and just not even doing. So it was like it very much take 2 steps forward and a step back, or take 2 steps back and 1 step forward type thing. It was just so annoying. But it's in some ways it's kind of worn on me as well, and wind, but trying to get in that habit, like try to really practice on that sort of stuff. Because if I can kind of get that done first, and the times I've actually sit down and go, I need that sort of like 10-step inventory or that sort of moment of reflection, I can kind of actually go, you know what, at least like overall round it, I was still somewhat healthy and making an effort rather than looking back and kind of go pinpoint times where I just wasn't looking after myself. But I always think that's important though. Well, so I think that's what gets a lot of people in recovery as well. It's just like when they actually realise like, oh fuck, this area of life and it gets to them, and or perhaps they're thinking like this stuff doesn't work and all that sort of stuff. So you know, And I also did think, when I was doing my writing, I did, not so much Joanna, but there was a couple of people I did really think about, and, uh, but, uh, rubbish. One time I have to go do another, like, video bins and shit, but, this is the back of the Japanese place, but hopefully the shit that I'm saying is making somewhat sense. And also, like, I bought myself like a can of deodorant for work and all that. I think I've left it, or hopefully I fucking left it at work. I didn't bring it home with me. Yesterday at work, I've got to be a bit more mindful. I didn't go grabbing for food yesterday, like reaching for it, but some stuff was placed in front of me. It's just like a couple of things, like a banana bread, a small muffin, and that shit's full of sugar. Like, it's just the amount of sugars in that sort of stuff. But you know, who knows? Oh, okay. So with Nikki as well. This weekend I might not see her. I did throw it out to her, but I kind of realised, like, I need to find that sort of balance. But I've also, like, next week, or not this weekend, but the weekend after, type of deal. She was kind of like throwing it out, like, it would be nice if you actually stayed the night too. Which I'm happy to do, but it's also like making sure that I'm still on top of everything. But it is one of those things that it's kind of followed me throughout my sobriety as well. Like, I cancel one good thing and do it with another thing, and having that struggle of, like, what to do, if that makes sense. So, like, I won't regret any of it, but something's got to give. Like, that's what I'm trying to say. And that's also like a healthy, good problem to actually have. Of, like, but it's also true. Like, two things that I'm trying to articulate. One, work never finishes. It's one of those nights where I'm getting nothing done, so that happens. So I've got a couple of scripts that I'm kind of in the works and process of organising. Could have just realised I could have parked just up there, but didn't as well. But go get some cigarettes, do a couple of things when I get home, maybe do some vlogging, but who knows. See what happens. I grabbed some coffee, a packet of cigarettes. So windy out there and cold, so I can't wait till this winter season's over. Anyway, I'm gonna take this swig of some water here and drive the fuck home. A couple weird things that I've been somewhat seen around. Now, my street's just down there. It's not been a while since I've actually been through here, but I think it was yesterday or the day before when I was walking home from the cafe down there. I'll point it all out when I can. There's people hanging out in the bush here, so I thought before I go for like a jog, thought I'd come around and have a look, but see if there's like anything new. So trust me, we have been here before, so let's have a look. Fuck, excuse me for the noises and stuff, so rubbish and shit here, but now I'm trying to determine where they were. They were sitting, fucking hell, on the rocks somewhere, a bit closer to the things. Just because the path that I walk on is just down there, and I could see them from like the path. Maybe I can't see anything. I swear they would have been on these rocks here, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe when I get on the path I'll be able to have a proper look. So, but since I'm here, I'm going to go up this way. Just because the so I know that spot's got a history of being used and shit for fuck knows what. The fuck is that? Oh, okay. That's liquor. Rubbish there. Fucking hell. So they were just hanging out. I think they was like probably smoking pot or something, but oh, this area's certainly been kind of like cleaned up. So there's still bits and pieces of rubbish around. See like you can there. Rubbish here. So some bottles there, a bit of metals there. Like beer bottles and stuff around here. Nothing here. So a bit of glass there. I don't know what this is. That's there. This seems new. The coffee cup's just over there. Glass, so that's fucking dodgy. Looks like it's been there for a while. Some more, oh, okay, there's the beer bottles there. It somewhat has, look, I get the feeling that it has been cleaned up a little bit. There's somebody's backyard down there. But let me exit because I don't want to be trapped. Fucking face. But so I know there's bits and pieces there, but still, I'll get out of here. So, I should have had a proper. I couldn't be. Yeah, the thing is, it's when I'm down there, I'll probably try to get a. Hopefully, I can point out the spot. There were just a couple of dudes. I'm pretty sure they were just taking drugs or some shit. Which you'll find a lot here in Australia. Because there's lots of like bushland and stuff. And yeah, so it's like a little backup little thing that people do, like for whatever reason. So, but okay. So yeah. Fuck, there's like a housing commission building there, like down there. And this is one of the tenants is like a hoarder. So, this looks like it's been cleared here actually. So, well, there's more rubbish than noticed. I think there's more rubbish, but so it was either yesterday or the day before when I was walking home from the cafe. I saw a couple of guys in the bush just smoking. I'm assuming they're taking drugs. They might not be, but yeah. To be honest, when I'm looking at it now, I don't think that they would have. Besides maybe rubbish, I don't think they would have left anything down there. But down the track here, there's a weird spot happening. So, check that out. I am on that walk thing. So the part where the bridge is along this walk, next to the creek and the golf course. Initially I thought it was a camp, like somebody was setting like a homeless camp type thing. But I think somebody's just either dumping stuff there or just, I don't know. But maybe it is. I'm going to check it out, kind of. But if there's like if I'm actually originally right, somewhat homeless people there, then I'll probably, or something actually fucked up going. I'll put the camera away and stuff, and but I will be filming just in case, for safety purposes and legal reasons. But if it is something fucked up, like I just said, I'm not going to use the footage unless if I need to back something up. But just to put it out there. But so I'll try to frame it morally as well. But going for my afternoon walk slash jog, and that's there along the footpath, just there. So, obviously I'm outside work. So, I'll probably be doing some more vlogging tonight when I get home. But, cigarettes are really hard to light. But, fucking sun. Better. Fuck, something's wrong with these cigarettes. Hang on. Life's really weird and complex. Oh, for fuck's sake. So, the sun's a bit better, but Reddit's still giving me the shit. So, I've kind of worked it out a bit more better. I did find like a couple Facebook pages, like they sell like Reddit accounts and stuff, but I'm too sure about that. But it's been months, like 6 months, I just haven't been able to get any growth happening. I wrote myself a few notes out last night to follow through on. I've got at least 10 more days of like one account that I can probably then start using successfully. I hope. It's wearing down. I was hoping my girlfriend would give me like her Reddit account, but I don't think. Picked up this book, Blood Money, the Swiss, the Nazis and the looted billions. Fucking hell, it's a lot. But I wonder what year this was published in. The author's Maxwell seems to have written a lot of stuff. 97. But one of those public library things that I got this book from. I've just started reading Zadie Smith on beauty. This is the second novel that I've read from her. I've read White Teeth as well. But Zadie Smith's, I've read her first novel. Seen a bunch of interviews and all that. But it's not as good as White Teeth is. Now I finished this morning before Zadie Smith. Mainland French. I guess so, it's a product for the time. I think this book was published. Oh, okay, this one is in the midnight. Oh no, 78. So it's very much a feminist book, but very much for its time. But it's worth, if you're into books and stuff, it's worth reading. But I'm trying to get back into the academic life as well, which is good. I'm still writing. I'm somewhat I can work with and all that, but everything else it seems to be a struggle. Like talking to the camera about that stuff, academic stuff, it's a different story. So anyway, I knew that somewhat was going to happen. So just the noise and shit. So I look a little bit healthier too in this fucking frame, but who knows? I swear Reddit's just getting worse in time, but you know, just getting banned. How am I supposed to start a new account if it's gonna get fucking banned all the time? But I'm a little bit worried. I have created a couple new accounts last night. I'm still using the VPN. At the end of August, I'll be definitely cancelling the subscription. I did say to myself I'll try it for a month. It has helped me. I've done a few little basic mistakes which Reddit has caught on to. Like I said, I've had to stop and force myself to learn a bit more. But I'm getting there. So I'm still sticking it out because I know, like, if I just kind of gave up, then hypothetically 6 months from today, I was like, what the fuck did I do that for? But if that makes sense, life is fucking weird. But you know, keep pushing, keep trying. Hopefully I'll break through the glass sooner or later. But I was gonna check something. Hang on. Again, it's Tuesday this morning. My boss sent me a text last night about, hey, can you start an hour late today? Which is fine. I think he's recently given me like a pay rise too, so it's kind of like not a big deal. What the fuck did I put my wallet? Actually, I might grab another coffee too. When I farted from BP, but fuck. Oh, I've got it. Got my wallet, but fuck. Why did I? Sometimes I just can't stay still and just do and be. Even when I'm like, oh, I can use this time to vlog, I've got like nothing to talk about either. So I actually do have a couple things, but hang on. So I got my coffee. gotta find that spot where I can kind of like put my coffee down and smoke a cigarette at the same time. There are the alleyways too. Because I'm not going to do any meetings for like a fucking over a week or some shit. But you know, even one of the other boys that I know that this is fucking is like just he loves his wife and all that, but he just had a moment of how like it's just living her life or something, or just yeah, that makes sense. Just how much time she just needs from him. But anyway, look, I'm gonna head off a bit close to work and have a quick cigarette, charge up my phone, and hopefully be at peace with things. So I was like, I had to get out of the house. Fucking hell. I swear this year's been like, maybe not. I swear this year's been like the worst year, like creatively, that I've had. Like, I'm glad my family's, like my sister was able to use my house. Okay, it's not my house. It's like somebody's so somebody's dog across the street was like somewhere. Anyway, so my housemate's like gone for like a year working. So I thought, anyway, so my sister took wind of that, and like so what was I gonna say? So she organised like a year, like to stay at the place for like a year at my place, like with my landlord, and just like the amount of night adjust, like we're all assuming, like I get it, he's gonna adjust. He's got 2 kids, so, and in a way I was able to like make an amends and stuff, and by having her around, but there was nights where I couldn't leave my room. Everybody wasn't coping well, and I kind of get it. It was like, you know, the move from London and all that sort of stuff. But I think I picked a really bad time to come. And it was like nights I just couldn't get anything done. I had to babysit, but the thing is, the reason why I'm doing it's like I'm making an amends, which I don't think it's become better in time. But I'm going to deal with like Nikki and all that, so yeah, I might have to cross the road. So, it's just too many people walking past. So, but I should a lot more close to traffic and all that, but it's died down a bit, traffic, but like, you can't really see me. Fucking hell. Thought traffic would be dead, but I'd die down a bit more. So, in a way, I was able to kind of like make the amends with my sister by letting the it says I just walked into like a mayhem. Nobody in my house is like coping well at all. Fucking hell. Too many people. Find somewhere else. Find a quiet spot. Maybe I'll find like a street light down the road. Why? There's like street cones on the road. So. I am standing outside under a street light. So, and I don't know. So I have to breathe and start over again. I think I kind of know what's triggering the shadow bands now. It's that sort of karma to karma points that I've been using. So I'm not going to do any of that stuff. To be honest, some of it's my own fault. I should have just from the word start, like, had just kind of like, was like, really think and learn about it. Because a lot of the times, like, I just wait a couple of days, start a new account, it's all good, sort of thing. But then I think they picked up on the IP address and all that sort of stuff, and it's just. But one big difference is like I actually am still creating projects and stuff. I'm almost done. I got a couple on the fly at the moment. I should message Ruben. So okay, I should actually say, like, stemming from what I was saying about my sister and the family. I'm actually outside. Well, want to vlog. Hopefully in peace, but that's not the case because with all the traffic, there was too many people at the shops walking past, so I was like, I think I was wigging them out. Then I went to the street, and anyway, so I'm passing the time to have something to eat. Anyway, I've got developing a bad habit. I don't know if I'm hungry and subconsciously just wanting something to eat. But with my dinner, I've always bought like 2 or 3 bananas and stuff, and I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna eat the bananas, and I'm eating them. And then get angry that I've eaten the bananas, can't have them for dinner. Anyway, so I'm gonna pass the time. Hopefully, they're gonna get back. I'm gonna have something to eat, and do some more vlogging. But hopefully shit. Like, anyway, so with the new information I've learned about Reddit, I've reminded myself I am going to space a lot of the stuff out. Not do karma for a bit. maybe just use Ask Reddit and try to. I should learn like go into Google and find out what subreddits are friendly to like new. Because the point of the VPN is to cut out my IP address to help minimize being caught. So, but last time this happened, where it was like a prolonged period. It was I think 2021, and I wasn't creating any projects then. But still, back then I was kind of when when was that freshwater? But I think I was really thawing out from me having a rock bottom. So, well, anyway, fair enough. I can't remember. No, it was 2021 because it was after COVID. That's right. So I was like, just like, wasn't really creating any projects or anything like that. But I don't. And plus, I really wasn't in the headspace to. Even like 2021 was the mark, was like building myself back up and all that sort of stuff on that rock bottom. But I'm trying to convey I'm having a bad time with this creative stuff. I've got to realise I've kind of mentioned a fair few times, but I should find something else to talk about anyway. New subjects. And also with my new girlfriend Nikki, I think staying over this night has probably brought on a new dream for me of just starting over. I think I kind of alluded to it in some way about previously, but I am staying the night this Friday, and it's going to take a lot of my time away from the actual being creative and all that sort of stuff. But I had this like today, since I was talking about it before, of this like before I went to work, I had this like feeling of like, I think it's not so far sensations or images inside me, but I had this like feeling of like starting over again with her. If that makes sense, I've just pictured myself doing life things, going. Because the thing is, when I was at work, ever since me and her started talking to each other, like, particularly when I'm at work. Oh, here's another bus. Hang on, look at this.
last week. That was cool, because I live on the Esplanade, so I just cross the road and go on to the beach. And the dog hated it because his ears were being flipped back. I've never seen seas like that. It's yes, yes. It looked like it flowed down, and it was clear as well. Much nicer than my favourite place in London is Pearl Beach. I could walk along the beach. I'm a little restricted with the dog. I have to find places. See, I went to Strickland and I hated it. Strickland Forest was so spooky. And I love bushwalking, but I can't take the dog in. I don't have any ties, so when I finish looking after him, I come home and I've got a week with my daughters Bichon freezes, and I've got another week with my daughters border terriers. I go in dog and house sick. They're backtrack, they're not so used to their run.
Encounters actually what they are seeming to be? Is not exactly what is happening with UFOs, seen but never touched, a perfect experiential recipe for baking a new mythology among humans over time? And what would be the purpose in creating such a mythology among humans? By keeping undeniably hard evidence out of our hands for 60 years, while occasionally floating all kinds of circus-lighted craft of unknown and impossible propulsion in front of a tiny, isolated sampling of us now and then. Think about the lights, always the spectacular lighting. Even our own primitive human military knows how to fly dark if they really don't want to be seen. And we're supposedly talking about superior intelligence here. UFOs are obviously there to be seen, and as far as I can tell, precious little else. Have you ever heard of a UFO doing anything but being seen? They seem suspiciously purposeless in their own activities. Today I see the whole UFO phenomenon as proceeding exactly as intended by whoever or whatever may be producing these occasional aerial light shows and down-home close encounters for our benefit, while denying their excitable audience any actual glimpse of what's behind their perhaps million years ahead high-tech curtain. Now that UFOs and their various occupants have been seen long enough to become a planet-wide hearsay mythology among us, we can begin to consider it as such. But when radio first began to spread this mythology, it was just a new discussion fad that kept kids like me up late at night wearing radio headphones in bed. Beginning with Long John Nebel from 1958. Tonight, UFO Radio.
Long John with the party line again. We're around from midnight to 5:30, 6 mornings during the week. Monday mornings we get started about 1, continue through to 5:30, and that means we're around for about 37 and a half hours each and every week. During that time, we have the pleasure of talking with many interesting people. And this morning, we're going to be talking with Edward. I think it was about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Frank Edwards, the well-known news commentator, told us about an incident that happened on Friday morning, October 3rd, year 1958. It was about 3 a.m. in the morning, when a freight train, number 91, on the Monmouth Railroad was southbound through the little town of Rossville. And he went on to describe to us what occurred. There was a sighting of about 4 unusual objects. Well, we talked with Frank yesterday morning about this, and I've been in touch with Frank just a couple of minutes before we went on the air again, and I understand that something rather exciting happened evidently this afternoon at Alamogordo. Find out what's happening out there. Hello, Frank Edwards. Long John, how are you?
John, how are you tonight? Fine, thank you. What happened in Alamogordo? I got a call from Cora Lawrence a little after 7 o'clock tonight. Yes? She, at 8 o'clock, rather. She says that at 6 o'clock, their time, that's Alamogordo time. That's 6 p.m.? Yeah. Yes? That one of the children came in and told them that there was something strange in the sky. And she and her husband went out, and the family across the street, Mr. and Mrs. John Romero, as I understood it, were already out watching this thing. And Mr. and Mrs. Lawrenson went out and watched it, and they had a pair of 7 power binoculars. Yes. It was, according to her, a gigantic cigar-shaped thing, about 9 miles west of where they were standing, over the San Andreas Mountains, which, as you probably know, are the mountains on the western edge of the Alamogordo, or the Holloman Air Force Base. She said the thing was not more than 10 degrees above the horizon, and they could see it clearly, particularly through the binoculars. She said that the south end of the thing, it was lined up north and south, and the south end of it was slightly higher than the other end. And while they were watching it, an intensely brilliant yellow light showed up on the south end of the object several times, flashed. Very, very brilliant, she said. And then it appeared to be discharging some dark objects from the north or lower end of the object. And they couldn't tell what they were because they were too small and too indistinct even in the 7-power binoculars. But she indicated to me that she didn't think they were vapor or anything like that. Let me ask you this, man. Yes, sir. Do you think this has any connection with the sighting that you reported to me yesterday morning that occurred on Friday morning, October 3rd? Well, the sighting that I reported, that sighting that I reported to you, was of much smaller objects, John. Much smaller than the one that she saw today, because at a distance of 9 or 10 miles, as they estimated this one, the object would be tremendous. She said that they were under the impression that it was about the same size as that object which was photographed over Holloman Air Force Base last November. The one that appeared on all the newspapers. Yes. Yeah, and that they estimated that, to be possibly 4,000 feet in diameter. 4,000 feet? That was what the Associated Press copy said on it. I very frankly, I don't remember the caption, but gee, that's a good size. That's huge, but 9 or 10 miles away, it would show up there, but it still wouldn't be very big. But anyway, this thing, she said, was huge. While they were watching it, they noticed tiny little flickering lights appear in a line along the lower edge of the object, longitudinally, and then it began to move as though these little lights were perhaps porthole flares or something. And it turned around and went westward. And altogether, they saw it about 6 minutes, Mrs. Lawrenson said. And then just as they wound up, one of the members of the party had been trying to call the control tower, and the control tower wouldn't answer its phone, which was very unusual. And then they noticed these jets taking off and going in the same direction this object went. Well, now when you say the control tower, that's the Holloman Air Force. Yes, I understand that, but they wouldn't answer the phone. Are you saying that there's a possibility that there was some jamming on the part of the object? No, my guess is that they were already busy with it. Go ahead, continue. Well, I was just going to say that all the four adults who were in this thing are all employees out there at the Air Force Base, and they're all very competent and sound people, and they're not crazy or anything like that. I wonder if you get some speculation on this case. Do you have any idea of why we've had so many sightings around Palestine, Mexico, and not many around New York City? I have no idea, John, and I've never heard anyone speculate on that, although I've known a lot of people who have noticed that that is true, as you pointed out, but I've never heard anyone speculate as to what might be true.
Professor H. Butterfield said, "Our fight is against some devil that lies in the very process of things, against something that we might even call demonic forces existing in the air, the forces that men into their grip, so that the men themselves are victims in a sense, even if it is by some fault of their own nature. They are victims of a sort of possession."
The recent flurry of sightings in Virginia during the latter part of December and on through January and a short part of February sent NICAP officials to the state to gather whatever information they could find. Two sightings were investigated thoroughly by NICAP, and Mr. Hall now gives us the details.
We interviewed or investigated two separate landing reports over there. One was the December 21st case reported by Horace Burns of Glasgow. He said he saw people across the road into the star called the Southern landing in Florida. He interviewed Professor Ernest Gaiman, human and our colleague. He has done a very thorough investigation job for us. He is an NICAP member. The other incident is more recent. I believe the date was January 19th, and also near Waynesboro.
Yes, I would like to say that I am on my way. I am on my way. The phone is still ringing now.
Oh, Frank Edwards.
We are live in Radioland. Live in Radioland. Hello, Valerie, I love you.
Hi there, this is Long John.
Hello, Valerie, I love you.
Yes.
I love you, Valerie.
Yes. Hello. Yes.
Universal Media Netweb presents another UFO.
Yes. Hello.
This involves a man who said that he had witnessed a UFO landing and saw some small beings emerge from the object.
I'm yo-yoing with an electrical yo-yo.
Edwards' books made me believe in flying saucers for a while as a youth questing for a new reality other than the humdrum one that inherited from the early 1960s. But another figure who deserves credit for spreading the UFO myth throughout the reading world is Ray Palmer, an editor of a number of magazines like Fate and such, whose articles promoted the myth of flying saucers to an entire generation. And if one looks up the man who invented flying saucers on Google, you'll probably find a nice essay written by John A. Keel about this seminal figure in flying saucer mythology.
Freedom to the New World, Hot Toddy's music.
Yes.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder where you are.
There was no kind of communication. He just was confronted by these beings, and he stated that he was very frightened by the experience.
Remember? Quite often people today are asking, twinkle, twinkle, little something, how I wonder what you are.
Now, I hasten to add that we don't necessarily believe this story 100%. We're interested in objective scientific investigation, and that's why we were there.
Flying saucers, unidentified flying objects, ships from outer space. Is there reliable evidence that there are objects moving about? And what people are seeing, is it their imagination?
It's very positive reading. Straight ahead, and before you shoot, there it is again. There it is, yeah, I see it too. It's very positive reading.
The prototype of the flying saucer shape derives from pulp magazine illustrations from the late 1940s, I believe, perhaps a little earlier, and occasional sightings of lenticular clouds, which often assume graceful, tapering, symmetrical shapes consistent with the prototype. As for the aliens themselves, to the best of my knowledge, the prototype for the spindly, big, almond, slant-eyed prototype of the alien is from the Betty and Barney Hill story, which appeared as a made-for-TV movie with makeup and prosthetics done by the technicians there, which spread the image, symmetrical shapes consistent with the prototype. That image was spread throughout the culture by that TV movie about the Betty and Barney Hill story.
Just keep it coming, man. They'll just keep on coming.
Nothing more than spots before their eyes. International Broadcast News Service presents Spots Before Our Eyes, or Are They? This documentary is presented to better inform you, the listener, with a controversial phenomena, UFO, unidentified flying objects. What they are, who has seen them, are they a danger? Or do they really exist, except in man's fertile imagination? We ask you this question: what do you think?
Is that this man very obviously had been intimidated by some kind of government agents, unidentified. We don't know who they were, Air Force, FBI, CIA, but it was very obvious from talking to this man's friends, who are very responsible local citizens, that this man had been intimidated and could not talk about his experience.
Mr. Hall, in your investigation of these two sightings, were there any material evidence of a craft of some kind landing?
No, in the first case, December 21st, there was physical evidence. Professor Gaiman investigated the site and tested it with a Geiger counter and found extremely high radioactivity at where the object had been seen to land. This was later denied by the Air Force, or they implied that Professor Gaiman was a professor of German and didn't know what he was doing. But the Air Force failed to mention that a couple of DuPont engineers were also present and verified the high radioactivity. This is a good form of physical evidence, as was the fact that the man's car motor failed as the UFO passed by. In the second case, there was no physical evidence, but there had been several rain and snowstorms in between the sighting and the investigation, so this is not too surprising.
And, there's an interesting angle in connection with this thing, which possibly you already thought about. A couple of days ago, they sent up this Lieutenant Clifton McClure from Holloman Air Force Base in that big plastic balloon. And they sent him up to 100,000 feet, as you probably recall. Yes. And he was supposed to be up there to study cosmic rays or something. Actually, what he was up there doing was trying to take some telephoto pictures of Mars, which is that extremely beautiful star you see in the eastern sky each night. They were testing new films and new techniques from above the atmosphere in hopes of getting enough detail on the thing that would show more than they've ever shown before. They've never had a method of doing this before, you know. Now you remember that all of a sudden, the other night, when the temperature was 55 below zero up where he was, he suddenly cut off his transmitter and made a hasty descent and came down 12 hours early with no explanation. The only explanation that was given was that it was getting too hot for him. Now, a source of mine asked the officials down there if they meant too hot in terms of temperature. And the fellow said, well, it won't amplify, we just say it's getting too hot. It got too hot for him up there. Now, it's strange that it would get too hot for him when the outside temperature was 55 degrees below, and he'd been up there in that same temperature for many hours.
Getting back again to Alamogordo, Mexico, Frank, isn't this the location that Dan Fry speaks of in his book? You know, Dan Fry.
The white sand.
Oh, white sand.
Yeah, it's way down the other end.
I'm sorry, I was confused.
Yeah, that's a great gypsum bed down there.
But isn't it true that there's a possibility that these unusual craft, the unusual craft that is being sighted from time to time at Alamogordo, that our governments may be testing something that they've recently developed?
Well, yes, that's quite possible. However, these are so similar to objects which have been seen for the past 10 years, or 11 years at least, that if they've been testing them that long, they're certainly making no progress. And they might as well quit and go back to bicycles. With that kind of luck, Henry Ford would still be fixing bicycles.
Thank you very much for giving me this information.
Say, John, I've got a new series called Stranger Than Science, in which it's a series based on my book, you know, Stranger.
Yes, it's published by Citadel Press.
Yes, and what I wanted to say to you was it's only been on the market 11 days. We've got 24 stations that have already signed up for it.
There we go.
Some people are convinced they have traveled in outer space. One of these is a man who calls himself Prince Neo-Sam, who in reality is Lee Childers of Detroit, a baker.
There have been many reports here of late and going back, say, 5 or 6 years ago, regarding supposed to be disasters that were created by unidentified flying objects in certain parts of the world. These unidentified objects, as we well know, do exist. Now, these unidentified flying objects of the disaster type are known as the evil saucers, which are owned and operated by a person which is in power at this particular time, that has been thought throughout the entire world to be dead. But he is not dead.
Evil saucers, controlled by a person thought to be dead, but is not dead. And who do you think this evil person is?
I would say that the man's name is Adolf Hitler.
And Major Hal Harper, an Air Force official. When asked if he believed UFOs are guided by intelligent beings, had this to say.
Well, this is strictly an opinion of mine, but after reviewing the majority of cases on file, we haven't in any way come to the conclusion that any of the UFOs that have been reported to the Air Force are guided by intelligent beings.
And Radio Moscow. Radio Moscow and their opinion, in letters from U.S. listeners, had this to say.
Next letter comes from Doris Hastings, 4307, Washington Avenue Southeast, Charleston, West Virginia. Have you sighted any UFOs or flying saucers? What are your opinions of such objects?
Well, I think our scientists have furnished ample proof
that flying saucers and UFOs are just a case of people's imagination playing tricks on them. This. Sometime back, there was a big article by Soviet academician Maximovich in the Pravda proving that this whole business of unidentified flying objects is just a lot of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. Radio Moscow.
Criteria, which of course gets black coming from internal.
The other wall is to play, more kind of, I guess.
It's
really amazing that we have only been playing with the concept of UFOs for about less than 60 years. It kind of makes me wonder if there are creatures on other planets and how long they've been talking about us, this backward civilization that can't even break the sound barrier yet, can't even break the time-space barrier.
I hear that also.
Whitley, I wonder... I have no idea what that is. It's certainly not else.
And I hear that also.
The McCarthy era was in full swing during the time of the first peak of UFO studies, and UFO conspiracy theorism allowed a safe means, a safe avenue to criticize the government and its secrecy policies and such, in an era that was highly stunted in the public criticism of the government. Another aspect worth considering is that UFOs are never seen, or virtually never seen, in Islamic countries. They are a phenomenon overwhelmingly of the westernized, quote-unquote, portion of the world, and that includes Japan, by the way.
No, that's just not true, There are plenty of Arabian sightings.
I've never heard of an Arabian sighting.
There's a very famous one in the Iran Air Force. Very famous one. I forgot, the details. But
the only places in Islamic countries where that happens are cities where there are more westernized people than elsewhere.
Perhaps, but it has happened and they have reported it, and there have been investigations by them and us about things that happened there.
If you look at a map of where UFO sightings take place, and I have such maps.
Yes, I have one right here.
There are overwhelmingly in the United States, a little bit of China, a lot in Japan and Western Europe, where all the movies, and a sprinkling in a few city population centers throughout the world.
Don't forget the South Seas, several big ones in the South Seas. That's where Howland Island is.
And Johnston Island, and all those funny places they were going to build space bases at.
And don't forget Australia, please.
There's some in Australia, but again, it's a westernized area, but overwhelmingly...
And would you like to talk about South America?
Again, like Rio de Janeiro and places, again, they are westernized...
And would you believe Africa?
Very little in Africa, especially northern Africa. Hardly any at all in places where the Islamic culture is the dominant place, because it is largely... In fact, I asked a member of the Saudi royal family once about UFOs, and he sneered at me and said,
Oh, really? And how long have you known the Saudi royal family?
Well, this was like 25 years ago, but...
and where did you meet with them?
Actually, one of them lived in the mansion that I lived at.
And what was that address?
The mansion.
I ain't gonna tell you. It was a long time ago anyway.
Look, all you're saying is that people don't, maybe all you're saying is that people don't notice them unless they've reached a certain technological level themselves. Otherwise, they don't even notice these things.
No, I think that if people who are secular will see UFOs. People who are religious generally will not.
They'll see something religious.
They will see something religious, but they won't identify it as a product of an extraterrestrial culture, because belief in extraterrestrial civilizations is inherently secular in nature.
Yeah, but remember, UFOs are not defined as extraterrestrial. They're simply defined as unidentified.
Well, that's the academic, safe, and true definition, but let's
keep that
we're
alive.
talking about flying saucers, really, when you talk about UFOs. When you ask people, do you believe in UFOs, they were asking if you buy into that metaphysical system.
You're talking about what they look like, not necessarily what they are.
The implication is clear, though, in the culture.
Yes, that gives the illusion purpose, if it is an illusion.
And we don't believe in religion anymore in America and in Western civilization. We don't really believe in religious miracles, but
we
kidding?
We also don't use the term UFO very much anymore.
We've given, or flying saucers, but we've given the visions a new clothing, a technological clothing. There are visions that take place. They have to be defined at the threshold of human consciousness at that time.
Which is what we're all about here on Over the Edge tonight, UFO radio from 1958 till the present.
By the way, that radio broadcast, was it from 58 or 56? They were talking about Mars.
I know, that's 58. Later on, he talks about the Vanguard missile being ready to go off at Cape Canaveral to launch our first satellite.
Those Frank Edwards books were so cool. I used to really read those and absorb them. They were just so wonderful. They also, well, that was a period of time where I could believe in dinosaurs still living somewhere on the Earth.
Yeah, Whitley, I wonder... I have no idea what that is with this. What kind of criteria... No idea what kind of criteria.
As you heard Mr. Hall said in the case up at Grottoes, the man said that when the alleged UFO hovered over his car or passed over it, his engine stalled out. This also happened in the case of a sighting in Williamsburg, which you are probably familiar with, where two men were driving down the highway, and in separate cars, both men said their cars stalled out as they came within sight of a large cone-shaped object hovering over a field. These sightings and sightings in years gone by have also shown cases where electronic effects have come about when the UFO had been sighted. I asked Mr. Hall if there was any explanation for this.
Yes, we have a section in the UFO evidence report which lists past cases of so-called electromagnetic interference. There is no known explanation for this. There are a few guesses that it apparently is some powerful electrostatic field causing it, but the exact mechanism of how it works, nobody knows.
Another case on record concerning these electromagnetic interferences happened several years ago when a group of jet planes were heading out to sea down somewhere in the southern part of the country near Florida, and something happened and they never returned again. So they sent another Coast Guard plane out to try to find them, see if perhaps they had crashed or something, and this plane too would never return. And although they could never be sure, they believed that some kind of electronic interference had caused their radar and their compass to go completely out of whack.
Another UFO.
And thus they lost their course and simply ran out of fuel in the middle of the Atlantic. This is, too, a very interesting case. It has been the policy of the press, both presses, to report on UFO sightings only within the state that the sighting occurs. I hasten to add here that both presses here in Virginia, I think, gave very excellent coverage to sightings here in the Virginia area. And for this reason, Richmonders did not know whether Virginia was the only place where flying saucers were being seen during December and January. We, of course, knew they were being seen here. And until this report, I feel, most Richmonders didn't have any idea that there were sightings elsewhere during the same period. We asked Mr. Hall about this.
Yes, as a matter of fact, when the sightings were occurring in Virginia, they were actually occurring all up and down the East Coast. And apparently, these stories very seldom go out on news wires outside of a given state. So the overall picture is not realized by anyone in one state. We did get sightings at the same time from New Hampshire. Incidentally, there was a case of a car being stalled as the UFO passed over in New Hampshire.
Now, a United States pilot for commercial airlines Pan American Airways. His name, Captain Van Winkle. As we mentioned, a long-time pilot with Pan American Airways. He cites from an experience that happened to him on a trip to South America.
This unidentified object appeared to be coming right at me from west to east. I took violent evasive action, gaining about 1,500 feet in a matter of a few seconds. The object appeared to have a brilliant greenish white center with an outer ring which reflected the glow from the center. Evasive action caused injury to most all the passengers in varying degrees.
People from all walks of life, located in different parts of the country. They saw something, or they thought they saw something.
Now, Jackie Gleason was evidently listening for a couple of minutes, and he heard that you were going to be on, and I know that he has some business to attend to tonight, and David Field contacted him, and he is going to talk for a couple of minutes on our beeper phone setup. And rather than talk to me, because this is not going to be of any great interest to Jackie Gleason, I think it would be better if he talks to you for a couple of minutes on the phone. So, you going to make the call? You got a small phone there? All right. Come in, Jackie Gleason. Now, you tell me if you're in business. We're trying to get... wait a minute. Have you got him on? No. Well, push that switch up behind you there. Push that switch up or down, whatever, in the other position. All right.
Now we're in business.
All right. Are we on the air? Everything going?
Hello, Jack.
Now we're in business. Yes. All right. We certainly are.
Hello, Jack.
Hi, pal.
How are you, sir?
All right. We're like this. I'm going to feedback.
All right.
You said that you had seen, or you had in your possession, or you had access to a letter, which made you absolutely believe that there were such things as flying saucers.
Jack,
Now, I really believe there are, but...
have you ever seen one?
I thought I saw one.
Well, I never did see one, but I've certainly looked. But I have a lot of friends, you know, who are airline pilots, radar control men, and so forth, and they've all seen these things, and I'm sure they have seen what they say they've seen. Now, this letter you're talking about...
That's what I want to hear.
I got this letter unsolicited, and it came from a group of atomic scientists and physicists.
Now, could you name the atomic scientists?
No, I can't, because I still don't have... Let me tell you why I can't. They are still in government employ.
Well, what does that mean?
Well, this means they're under security provisions.
Well, what security is if there's a flying saucer? It's nothing there revealing.
We're supposed to believe, according to the official dispensation from the Air Force, we're supposed to believe that these flying saucers are a matter of great national concern, although the same outfit tells us they don't exist. At the same time, they tell us that they do come under the security provisions, and, you know, they have several regulations which forbid military and government personnel from even talking about them. And this letter that
You're not military or government personnel.
No.
So you can talk about them.
Well, I can talk about them, yes, but I can't reveal the identity of these fellows, but I would have no objection doing with you what I did with Willie Lay one night on a show called The Author Meets the Critics. This was several years ago, and we were on there.
I think I heard that show.
And Willie was giving Donald Major Kehoe and myself a hard time, and I asked him if I would show him a letter, and if he would show him who signed it and where it came from, if he would let me read one sentence, which was all I've been permitted to read publicly. And I showed him the letterhead, and his jaw dropped open, and I showed him the signatures, and it opened a little more.
And what was the sentence?
The sentence said, "After 6 years of studying the material furnished to us in connection with these so-called flying saucers, we are of the unanimous opinion that these are interplanetary devices conceived and operated by intelligent beings of a very high order. Now, was that letter signed by very important men in the government?
So I'm at Palm Beach. I'm going to read a book on the way home. I really have to take a piss, but you know what people's bars, but it's good to be home in Sydney. Like, even though I don't come to Palm Beach that often, it feels normal here. But, who knows. So I'm going for my afternoon walk, about to jog. Found these glasses in this tree, so somebody's happened, somebody's dropped them, and I'm assuming it's a good Samaritan came along and put them in the tree, but look how dirty they are. They've been here for a bit. So anyway, who knows. And I've got to take his shit, so I was about to walk off, but I'm like, no, fuck it. Get it on camera. So I just got to walk through. This. Look at this. How's this? I was just thinking about trial cams. And Bush is there. So, all that. So I give him the finger. So, fucking hell. Look at that. What up? So, yeah. Now, in terms of this week, okay, anyway. I can't remember what I just previously, because it's been a couple of days since I actually turned the camera on and talked. I did go to spend the night with Nikki. Was it Friday night? That's right. So, was it? Yeah, it was Friday night. So I did talk about what I cooked for and all that. A little bit more present Friday night. Sat down still. We grabbed a couple things from the shops, which I saw. Battery Bay's like shopping centre. Yeah, it's alright. I don't dislike it, and it had a few sporting fields next to it as well. Saw a bit of the suburbia and all that to it. I think it was mainly that soccer was being played. We drove past a few fields with rugby being played. I think it was rugby, but saw a little bit more of the suburban side that was there a bit longer. I feel bad for her driving me around a bit. I got to start giving her some petrol money soon as well. And we didn't watch a movie. I know she wanted to go see Deadpool. With whatever that thing is. I didn't really want to go see, but we're a bit more present too. We ended up going to bed. Like, it wore me out again, like, as it has been. I really enjoyed it. I did think I was going to be there till about 6 o'clock that night, but I didn't. I actually got home at a pretty good hour. It took a couple of hours to get there and all that, but I'm actually in a good headspace about it all. Because it's been like a long time since I've actually been with somebody as well. You know, I think it died down. It's died down. Like, having a new boyfriend's died down for her as well. So you got a bit more, like, a bit. I need some space and all that too at the moment. Slowly and all that. I've gotten used to the idea about it all. I'm so tired. It's almost like 11 o'clock at night at the moment, but I actually do want to see her again, a bit more regularly. I'm more speculating and stuff. I shouldn't be speculating at all, but you know, who knows where things will go. Maybe we should talk about why I stayed single for a bit, but which I'm sure I'll talk about in a while. To get a bit more details, I'm putting in my junkie notes and stuff as well. I do want to see her a bit more weekly now. So I've just sent her a message and stuff saying like good night and all that. Because I know she won't be awake at the moment, but so I'll probably have to go back up this weekend. But yeah, that's okay. You know, I haven't really been doing meetings and stuff lately, but I am practicing recovery and all that. But I'd see how interesting that goes and all that, the growth in other areas and stuff. I listened to like a Jordan Peterson thing today as well, which is good. It's always good for my recovery to listen to stuff that he said. Fucking face is itchy as yeah, no. But little practices and stuff that have started to creep back in. Today I think I'm kind of like taking it a bit more of a going back into default. My food practices can be improved still a little bit better. I haven't been reaching for sweets today, which is good. I've kind of stopping myself in the meantime of reaching for food. There's one instance today when I was at the cafe that I was eating something and I stopped it and put it away. My cigarettes, somewhat slowly beginning to kind of practice very bits and pieces and stuff. God, I'm gonna miss smoking, but other than that, I do enjoy this talk therapy and all that. Sometimes it's hard at the cafe to think with clarity and be present and stuff, but in the meantime I am doing right by them as well, so my learning, a passion for learning's getting back in. But I think it's something that seeing Nikki as well, but I think my creative side can be a bit better. But who knows? So I gotta put another film out soon. What was I gonna say? You know, Monday I was organized. Like, when I was with Nikki a bit, we were driving around a bit. She showed me around Foresters Beach and stuff. Some of the headlands are beautiful. And I did take some bit of footage from it, so can't wait to see how that turns out. But on Monday, I was like fucking like trying to upload it like, a long time, like. But just from other thoughts about her, eventually I would have to kind of like move up and all that sort of stuff, which we're gonna might have to talk about like soon, like a bit more of a routine. Well, like and stay in the night too, but at the moment, gonna be a bit difficult. Not difficult, but my creative stuff's gonna be a bit annoying. I feel really bad for the actors that I've been working with. Thus far as well, the Reddit stuff seems a bit on the mend. I've kind of like worked it out as well, which I feel really like really frustrated about. Like I'm not be able to like do anything about that sort of stuff, but like one step at a time. Like even now, it just makes things harder than it needs to be. But who knows? And so I'll be at the cafe tomorrow. What else? Might see Nikki this weekend. And eventually, talk a bit more of a routine about being together a bit more time. And how we kind of operate too. Like maybe one week we just hang out, the next week we're a bit more kind of like, hey, let's just chill out together and talk. Or maybe do things like be creative together as well, you know.